Good afternoon. My name is Dilly MacFarlane, and welcome once again to the Alumni Special. I'm very pleased to welcome as my guests today two alumni who have been working very hard on a very special project. First of all, Debby Patty Matheson, who is the working chair of the annual fund drive, and Valerie Birkemsher, who is the coordinator of the annual fund drive. Hi. Valerie, tell me about the annual fund drive and the Pepsi Challenge in particular. Tell me where did the idea come from?
Well, the idea originally started with our new Director of Development, Lorraine Johnson, when she came to the Mount. And Lorraine, of course, came armed with a wealth of ideas, and unlike other universities, the Mount has never had an annual fund drive before. And we decided that we would do it because it involves so many people in the community on an ongoing basis. And so Lorraine came up with the idea, and we approached Maritime Beverages with the idea of sponsoring our fund drive. And they liked the idea and said, yes, we're going to go with it. We believe in the university, and we believe in helping education.
That must have been very exciting. Is this something that other universities have been doing all along, or?
Well, other universities have had an annual fund drive, but no other university in Canada has had the privilege of being sponsored. Now, when I talk about being sponsored, I mean that for every donation over $25, Maritime Beverages is going to match that. In addition to that, for every new donor to the fund drive, or person who has never contributed to the Mount before, they add another $10.
Oh, that's marvelous. So in other words, if I wrote a check out to the Mount, Mount St. Vincent Annual Fund Drive for $50, Maritime Beverages would pitch in another $50.
That's right.
And then if I had never given to the Mount before, they would throw in another $10, which would make
$110.
$110 for $50.
For your $150 donation.
Oh, that is exciting. I know, speaking from personal experience in the alumni office, I know that each time that an alumna would offer a gift to the university, they would invariably say, I wish it could be more. And this way it can be more.
This way it can be more, and we're getting many comments like that. People are excited by the idea of having their donation matched. People who feel that they would like to give more and can't are thrilled to know that the university is going to get that extra something that they would like to be able to give.
Oh, well, that is just remarkable. Now, who in particular, who's the executive with Maritime Beverages that you worked with?
Well, it's Reg Sinclair, who's the president of Maritime Beverages.
I see. Wasn't he nominated for an award last fall?
Yes, he was. It was an award for the Canadian Society of Fundraising Executives, and he was one of the finalists in that award. He has been very generous, and the company, of course, not only with Mount St. Vincent University, but with other maritime universities as well.
Oh, well, that is so good to know that the corporate community is taking such an interest at this time when we have to seek assistance from other than government funding.
That's right.
That's good to know. Tell me about some of the, I hear that there are some incentive gifts that go along with the Pepsi Challenge. Could you tell me something about those?
Yes, Maritime Beverages has donated several gifts, and we're having 3 premium draws. Now, the fund drive runs for 9 months, and so mixed in between the draws, we are giving prizes. Now, if someone, for instance, donates anything from $1 to $25, they're eligible to get a Pepsi ear radio. Now, the prizes go up in value. If you donate, for instance, $100, you're eligible for a Pepsi sweatshirt. And over $500, you're eligible for an underwater camera.
Well, that is exciting. And you've had the first draw already?
Yes, we've had the first draw, and we're about to have our second draw.
Oh, well, that's good news then. I wanted to ask you about the kickoff to the campaign. It was something that made the media from what I hear. It was a very exciting event.
It was great, just great. We had 100 kites flying. Maritime Beverages also donated Pepsi kites. We gave them to everyone who came to the kickoff, and we had the kite flying on the Mother House Hill. Now, of course, when one is planning something like that, you're always worried about the weather, and we were lucky. It was a beautiful, bright, sunshiny day, and not a lot of wind, but enough to get the kites up there, and we just had a great time.
The kite fly is a good idea, too, I assume, because Dr. Hersom, our new university president, is such a kite flying aficionado. Did she enjoy the...
She loved it.
Oh, that's great.
She was flying her kite along with Reg Sinclair, and we had Joel Matheson. And
oh, that sounds like fun.
One of our Sister Frances DeCisi was there flying her kite as well.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yes, I think I remember hers. Wasn't her her kite was the one that went up over the chapel roof.
That's right, and stay there.
Well, perhaps that's a good sign. I hope that that's indicative of how high we can go with this campaign.
That's right.
That's wonderful. Valerie, you've come to the Mount with a background in business and secretarial studies, and you're taken on a new role, I understand, just recently with the establishment of a new Department of University Relations at the Mount. Can you tell me briefly about what your new position involves?
Yes, the Office of Development and Alumni recently merged with the Public Relations Office, and so that we now have a department called University Relations. Lorraine Johnson is the director of that, and I am the manager of development, and of course alumni is still very much a part of that.
So that's a new exciting field for you to look at for the new year.
And I think we're going to do a lot of really exciting things in the development office.
Oh, that sounds great. It sounds great. Now, Debbie, once we get all of these machines in place and ready to go, what happens then? How do the alumni and how does the university community and the general community take part in the Pepsi Challenge? What happens next?
Well, this has been extremely exciting for me, Dilly. The volunteers are out there and they're just itching to help, and that's the way I would say the whole campaign has been. We started in September with our kite fly, which was just extremely exciting to see all the students and faculty and alumni and staff and even children from the Child Development Center were up on the hill that day, and the sisters were out. It was just fantastic. And what we started with is a volunteer committee, and they're really the strategy planning committee, and we meet once a month and come up with ideas that we think we can send out to other alumni to stir up interest about the fund drive. And actually, it's been just fantastic. We've had a lot of things going on since September. After the kite fly, one of the things we did was we hosted a reception in Truro, and Christine Lovett-Smith, an alumni, was graciously opened her house to us, and we were able to meet with the Truro alumni and the Colchester County alumni.
They must have been really happy to meet the new president.
They were extremely happy to meet the new president, and along also just finding out what's happening at the Mount, because those of us that live in the local area sometimes take it for granted because we're around a lot and in and out of the university, but when you're not right next door to it, sometimes it's hard to get information. So they really enjoyed meeting the new president and hearing what was happening at the Mount.
Isn't it wonderful that she's so willing to cooperate in our fundraising efforts? It shows a good sign of support there from her, I think.
Very much so, Dilly. She's been extremely supportive to the alumni and particularly to the annual fund this year, so it's been great.
So what happened after the gathering in Truro? What did you do after that?
Well, after Truro, we met with an enthusiastic group of alumni in Montreal at McGill University, and our alumni contact there was Yvonne Frechette. And that was, again, a really nice gathering of a group of people who were interested in the fund drive and wanted to hear more about the Mount. And then from Montreal, we went to Ottawa and had a great meeting on Parliament Hill and had almost 100 people at that gathering. Again, the opportunity to meet the new president was there, as well as to hear about the annual fund drive. And our contact person there was Susan LeBlanc, and she did a fantastic job on pulling that reception together for us. And then actually from there we went to Toronto and met with our Toronto alumni at the Elmwood Club.
Now we do have, the Alumni Association does have an established chapter in Toronto, one of two, I understand.
Yes, we do, and actually it was Stefania Pavlin, the president of the Toronto chapter, who actually organized that reception for us. So everything was in place. We arrived with the president and had a great reception. Nice chance to talk to everybody.
Oh, that's great. Now what about on the local level? What's happening to support the fund drive on the local level?
On the local level, what we're having is actually a couple of things coming up. The first thing is on March the 3rd, we're having a flip for lunch here on campus.
Oh, that's Shrove Tuesday, Pancake Day.
That's right,
What
Pancake Tuesday. And it's going to be an opportunity for the staff on campus, the students, the faculty, alumni, and friends to come together for lunch. And the chef Renee has graciously donated all of the food for the pancake breakfast.
Now this is from Versus Services Limited, the company that Chef Renee is employed with.
That's right, and so all the monies from that lunch will actually be pure profit for the fund drive. The tickets are going to be $3 for adults, $2.50 for students, and $3.50 at the door. But obviously we want to pre-sell the tickets.
Yes, and of course for more information of the, on any of those activities, especially the Flip for Lunch program, you can call the Mount Alumni office for further details.
That's right.
So that's great. Now, we do have a Halifax chapter of Alumni. I'm sure that they wouldn't miss getting involved in on the act in some way. Tell us what they're up to.
We do, Dilly, and they're extremely active and, again, very supportive of the fund drive. And they have organized a dinner to be held here on campus on March 28th. And the dinner is going to be hosted by the Halifax chapter, and the guest speaker is going to be our new president, Dr. Hersom. So it's a great opportunity for anyone who hasn't had a chance to meet her yet to come and join us that night and hear our new president speak. And the dinner tickets, again, will be available through the university alumni office and also through the local Halifax chapter. And they've worked very hard on getting this organized. And so I think we're expecting quite a large crowd.
Now, do I understand that for this dinner that there'll be a tax receipt available for their contribution to the fund drive,
yes,
aside from the cost of the meal itself?
Yes, there will be, Dilly.
Oh, that's good to know.
The plans are just underway right now, but we're quite sure that the tickets will be approximately $35, and part of that $35, of course, has to go to cover the meal cost.
Yes.
And then the part of the $35 that will be the contribution will definitely be given an income tax receipt. And right now we're looking at about $15. So.
Well, that's a lovely way to help support Mount St. Vincent, yes, and to get to know Dr. Hersom a bit better.
That's right. That's right. So. Excellent way.
Well, we're in for, I think, a very exciting outcome to this fund drive. How are we doing? Has the response been good, Valerie?
It's been excellent. We have had to date over 400 brand new donors to the fund drive.
Really? These
Yes.
are people that have never given to the Mount before?
That's right.
Oh, that's remarkable.
Now, we have also had, of course, our faithful alumni who have given to many other causes, but I think the fact that we've had so many new donors is really encouraging. People are beginning to feel a part of the Mount again, and with our new alumni publication, Folia Montana, people are thrilled with that. They're finding out about people who they haven't heard about for years, about their old professors, and they're becoming a part of it again.
Now tell me, when you contribute to the annual fund drive, can you designate your gift to a particular scholarship or a particular part of the fund?
Yes. We are asking donors to give us unrestricted money. Now, by unrestricted, we mean money that the university can use for any purpose that usually they know where their needs are the most. Now, this can be money that goes to the library for new books or for special equipment for science labs. It can be many, many different things. However, some people do like to designate their money to specific scholarships or even specific departments, and that's quite acceptable as well. We're happy to.
Any way you do it, you're helping them out.
They give us the money, we're
wonderful.
Delighted to do what they
well,
want.
You two must be very pleased with this project, and I want to thank you both very much for coming to share that news with us today. And so for now, I'm going to say goodbye from me, Dilly MacFarlane, and we'll see you next week on the Alumni Special.